This video will contain spoilers, and this term. Thank you guys so much for 160 subs.
Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing day. I'm doing pretty okay, and it has been a long time, but I had to wait to finally upgrade things. New equipment, new ideas, new Chris talks about stuff. We're all here for it. We're all here to talk about it. I don't want to waste any more time. Sorry about being gone, but for now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about for anybody that knows me personally or follows me on my social medias or on my YouTube, you guys know I've been looking forward to Superman for a very, very long time. And it's been a long time coming. I've gone through the ups and downs of the photos releasing and the promotional material, people being worried about it being bad, people worried about it not living up to their expectations. And honestly, I was one of those people. Every single time something came out, a new detail came out, something about a cast member came out, I was a little skeptical, as you are going into movies like this. Skepticism be damned, because this movie is really good. I want to talk about the plot before anything else, like even the characters. The main thing people have problems with when it comes to this movie is the plot, and that's kind of honestly refreshing, considering every single Superman adaptation has had issues with how the character is characterized, besides Christopher Reeve and the older Superman. The more recent ones, those are the ones where people are like, would Superman do this? Would Superman act this way? But this one, no scenes like that at all. The main conflict over this entire story is about Superman choosing to save lives and how that has rectifications. And that is honestly how a Superman story should be written. The fact that the character isn't always understood, and the fact that the character is always questioned for his morality, even if he is doing the right thing, is what makes him interesting, because that's a human thing. That is a normal and human thing. And I feel like that sticks out a lot more to me in this plot. And we're going to talk about that more. I feel like Superman is a film that is messy because Superman's ideals are a bit messy. And that might be a bit, weird to say, and it's kind of a weird excuse to use, but for what Superman represents, there's always sort of a slippery slope in contention with that. Just like there's a slippery slope in contention with Batman's ideals. Even though Batman's are based off something we can understand, Superman's are as well. But in this film, what Superman's ideals are based off is challenged to an extent, especially with some plot points that happen. And this film does a really solid job of portraying Superman as someone who, no matter what, wants to save life and humanity. Doesn't care the cost, doesn't care who's around him. He still wants to do it because that's who he is. And that's represented beautifully in the film. It's represented beautifully by what he decides to do. And it's never a question as to will he or won't he. It's mostly a question of what is going to get in his way, or what is going to attempt to get in his way. And I feel like that's an entertaining way to write the character. He's not too powerful to the point where he's just, oil farming and blowing up courthouses. But he's not too weak to just be a paper doll. Like he's someone who doesn't get rolled over too often, but when he does, it makes sense why. And it thematically works, because the most important thing to James Gunn, I think, whenever it came to writing this movie, was making Superman human. And he does a pretty good job at that throughout the whole entire film. But when it comes to the plot, I have to say this film isn't exactly conventional in the slightest. In fact, I would put it in different words. Superman is a world versus film. And I feel like what that means to me is saying that Superman's ideals are older. They're not exactly what people follow anymore. The Justice Gang is an incorporation. Lex Luthor is Lex Luthor. There's no one who exactly represents the true kindness, person who wants to save lives, the person who wants to help people no matter the cost, besides Superman. And that's where he's, in a sense, anti-establishment. That's where he's, in a sense, anti-government, is that he doesn't care about the legal way to do things. He wants to do things in a way that helps people despite all of that. And this film follows him going through his world versus Superman story. And it's also a story of ideals. Lex Luthor and what he represents, that all is a different film to me. It's not exactly just saying, well, they shouldn't have to flesh out any characters in this film. They shouldn't have to worry about any other characters, because a lot of characters do get a lot of time in this movie, but the basic idea and premise that kindness is something that is timeless, is something that is held throughout the whole entire film. To kind of explain more of what I mean, I want to talk about the Justice Gang a bit, because they are literally Superman's effect showing. The Justice Gang handles morality differently. They don't care about saving the people they're fighting. They mainly care about getting rid of the threat and continuing on with their business. They see it as a job. It doesn't mean they aren't entirely good, but you can tell the difference between what Superman does and what the Justice Gang does. Even if it doesn't get as much attention as other parts of this film, I feel like these characters have their own story arc of realizing what it means to be good. And not just good to the government or good to the public, but good in general. And realizing those things aren't exactly one-to-one with each other. And that's okay. Because no matter what, them deciding this means something. I can see how this Superman is going to start the Justice League, or at least be the heart or part of the heart of the Justice League, just because of his intentions and ideals throughout this whole entire movie. It's beautifully represented how so many people could change and grow and see what it means to be a hero through one person's actions. And that's what makes the story of Superman powerful, is that one person can change everything. It reminds you of that throughout the whole entire film. And the Justice Gang is honestly super well written. I love the Green Lanterns. I love the Justice League animated series. And I love these characters whenever they're shown. So just to get into a couple of them, Isabel Marcet as Hawkgirl, fantastic casting. She does really good in this movie for the time that she does get, which isn't that much, but at the same time, they figured out ways to, incorporate her that was cool. And also, she gets that one scene where she gets to kill the fake Netanyahu, which is sick, and I feel like that is really great representation of her character and how the morals differ and change throughout the story for different characters. But I'd say my main standouts, of course, were Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific. Just to talk about Guy first, Guy Gardner is honestly a character that I wasn't exactly too into compared to the other Lanterns. I've always been a Jon Stewart guy, and if not Jon Stewart, then Hal's like the classic choice, but Jon is probably my favorite. And for Guy, he was always the one I could see becoming somebody else's favorite. I could see that character becoming someone else's new favorite Lantern because of his personality being so different. I love the fact that he isn't exactly easy to work with. He's not exactly the best to work with in any situation, but the fact that you have him and he's reliable and he gets the job done no matter what, and he still has a heart of gold underneath all of that, is amazing. And I feel like it's represented really well in this film compared to actually nobody. Everybody's represented in this film. You thought I was going somewhere with that. I didn't. And also Mr. Terrific, great character, really great. I wasn't exactly as wowed about some things when it came to his characterization. Like, I don't know. It didn't hit me as hard first watch how good he was doing, but second watch, I really did understand how the character was literally playing 4D chess. He was smarter than everybody in the room. He did his job.
Goddamn, Mr. Terrific.
That pretty much sums it up. I had to delete so many memories to make this, so please like and subscribe to the video. Anyways, I haven't talked about a couple of people yet, a good few people actually, and I wanted to wait until I got to a specific point in this video to actually mention these people. Let's talk about my absolute favorite characters in this movie and what they represent to me. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't. Lex Luthor is James Gunn's most well-adapted and well-written villain of all time, no debate. He is every bit as pathetic as other versions of the character, but is also strong in his performance no matter what. He's not some bumbling idiot nerd who doesn't know what he's doing but somehow knows about Superman and Batman's identities and wants them to fight for some reason. No, this Lex Luthor hates Superman with all of his guts and glory and doesn't care who it offends or what he has to do to get him down, and that is Lex Luthor. This character is petty and insecure, but not corny. Lex Luthor defies what it means to just be a man because he is so calculated and kept so calm that even when Superman is right in his face threatening him, he already has a plan B in mind. He's choreographed moves knowing every Superman move there ever could be because he's studied them ever since he landed on Earth. This is dedication. You have to understand, this is a villain that knows his antagonist better than we even know him, better than anybody knows him. And the thing is, the saddest thing about it is that if he put in a speck of that effort into anything else, the world would be a better place. One of the critiques I've seen of this movie is how it's too on the nose and too in your face with what it's trying to say. And to a point, I can agree, but I don't feel like being too on the nose or in your face in this case is a bad thing. That scene with Lex adds a lot to his character, and same with Superman's scene, which we're going to talk about in a bit. Both of those scenes matter so much in this film that I feel like without them, the film would not be better off.
The biggest question that people have asked, probably you already, is about Jor-El and Lara's message. Is it real? Has it been doctored? Is that the actual
How
message?
can someone not think it's real?
This isn't something I've discussed that much during this whole entire video, and honestly, this change strengthened Superman's character a lot, and you can't convince me otherwise. He chooses his found family, the found family that believes in him and wants him to do good, over his actual family that wanted him to do bad, even if he never even knew it. And that is beautiful. So yeah, that's my take on this. To continue on about more humans, Lois is peak in this movie. I feel like she finds what makes Superman so hopeful, so heartful through his parents. And at the end of the movie, she appreciates him, loves him a lot more because of who he is, because of what he stands for, and how she even got her eyes open by his ideals. Superman's effect on people in this movie is something that I just can't get enough of because it means so much. This movie serves as an introduction to them as a couple, but it's also during a building and breaking point in their relationship. Whether or not they're going to work out is kind of up in the air throughout most of the first half of the film, but as the film goes on, you can tell Lois starts to love and appreciate Clark for what he does. And the fact that they make it through things together says a lot about where they could go in the future. There's tons of interesting ways you could write these characters and make them special and unique. And I feel like this has a very bright future in the DCU. The rest of the Daily Planet crew is also really great. I feel like Jimmy Olsen is probably the main one I love. And also Clark in this movie is portrayed really good. I feel like he has good characterization as well. For the most part, everybody does their thing and everyone is pretty dang accurate in how they do their thing in this film. So I got no problems with it whatsoever. Jimmy is peak. Loved Jimmy. His plot in this film is peak. Loved him. And the fact that they all get involved and they feel like, just like your classic Saturday morning cast of newscasters and journalists feels pretty good. I love that aspect of everything. So, yeah. And to talk about what I didn't like as much about this movie is the thing I loved about this movie. It's the comic bookness. It's the thing that makes this movie great. It's the same thing that makes this movie kind of hard to get into and appreciate because it feels like it's a middle story. Like a lot of people have said, this is like Superman 2 or 3. This is not Superman 1. And the main reason I say that is because of one character, and it's the guy I haven't mentioned yet, even in my Justice Gang area, and it's Metamorpho. I feel like that's the one character in this film I didn't come out absolutely loving or liking that much. I felt like he was there and it was cool, and the whole thing with the baby is weird James Gunn stuff working out, weird comic book stuff working out, but honestly Metamorpho was not one of my favorite characters in this movie, and that says a lot considering I pretty much love almost every character in this film. This story works as a revitalization of the character of Superman. It brings Superman back to his basics, what the character represents, what the character means, and I don't have any issues or problems with that at all. But at the same time, I feel like with a little more grounding and a little more time, I feel like this movie would have been even better at the end of the day. And like, even on first watch, I think I was a little disappointed after it because I didn't exactly understand what it all just happened, what all just took place, and I feel like the main thing I could have hoped for more of is just more time. Okay, that section's over with. My favorite thing about this movie, the absolute best thing about this movie, something I couldn't have hoped to be better, is Superman himself.
You've always been wrong about me. I get scared, but that is being human. And that's my greatest strength.
But I think overall, this Superman film is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. And I really appreciate a movie that is so earnest and so menacing in the sense that whenever we get something like this announced, we don't know what to expect. We don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but it defies our expectations, and it also gives us something new to appreciate because of its existence. Because Superman has been compared to a ton of movies already, like the Raimi films and a couple of other beginner superhero movies from the early 2000s and later on. But this film is, to the 2020s, what a hero film should be. A good jumping off point for a character that's already established, a good plot ripped straight out of that character's comics, and a good, honest look of what the character represents and how they should be in any sense, whether it's in film, whether it's in TV series, or whether it's animated, also TV series. So yeah, if you guys want to see Superman, the character Superman, watch this film. Enjoy this film, watch it with your family, your friends. It's for the whole family, for your friends, for your girlfriend, for your everybody. I loved it. I would watch it again and again and again. And if you're asking for my review of Superman 2025 and if it holds up, yes, and I give this film a star, honest 10 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for getting through this with me, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I try to do some different things, try to make this a little better, so if you appreciate that, let me know in the comments, like and subscribe. And for now, even if the lights are out, they're about to be because I'm about to leave this room and see what I could do next. It has been the best time, but Chris is out and I am out of rhymes. Thank you for watching.